In structured environments, authority is expected to move without delay. Decisions are issued within defined intervals. Responses arrive inside the window of relevance. Direction is maintained under observation. Across professional systems, leadership is measured by continuity of action. Momentum is preserved when judgment is expressed without visible interruption. Confidence is inferred from timing, not explanation. Presence is registered through decisiveness, not volume. In social hierarchies, authority is recognized before it is announced. It appears as steadiness during evaluation. It persists when attention is applied. It does not fluctuate in response to scrutiny. Within cooperative settings, alignment is assumed to follow clarity. Roles stabilize when direction is unambiguous. Group movement depends on signals that are delivered cleanly and without pause. Institutions reward predictability of response. They rely on individuals who resolve internally before speaking. Deliberation is expected to be private. Public space is reserved for conclusions. Authority is not granted by permission. It is acknowledged through consistency. It remains intact when challenged by time pressure, observation, or competing presence. Cultural expectations reinforce this standard. Competence is associated with immediacy. Reliability is associated with firmness. Leadership is associated with uninterrupted execution. Silence has a defined place. It is assigned to listening, not to decision points. Delay has a defined function. It belongs to preparation, not to engagement. When standards are stable, authority becomes legible. Others orient around it without instruction. Direction flows without negotiation. The system recognizes the signal and adjusts accordingly. This baseline operates across domains. It applies before outcomes are known. It applies regardless of intent. It remains the reference against which authority is measured. The failure is yielded authority. It appears at the moment a response is required. Attention turns toward the individual. Time compresses. The signal weakens. Action is delayed. This occurs even when the individual recognizes the pattern. Awareness does not interrupt it. Recognition does not prevent it. The pause still arrives. It persists when intent is present. The decision has already been considered. The position is internally formed, yet expression is withheld. Authority is deferred. It persists under preparation. Language is ready. Facts are organized. The structure is known. Still, execution stalls. It persists under observation. Scrutiny increases. Presence narrows. The response window opens. Authority is not taken. It is yielded. The failure does not require confusion. It does not depend on lack of information. It does not wait for uncertainty. It activates under clarity. It appears during alignment. Cooperation is assumed. The individual waits for confirmation. Direction shifts outward. Control transfers without demand. It appears during negotiation. The individual pauses to accommodate. Space is given unnecessarily. The interaction reorganizes around the other party. It appears during interruption. Momentum breaks. Recovery is delayed. The exchange resets with altered balance. It appears repeatedly across interactions. Formal settings, informal settings, familiar environments, new environments. The pattern remains unchanged. Effort does not dissolve it. Increased vigilance does not remove it. Intentional restraint does not correct it. The same outcome repeats. Authority is not overtly taken away. It is not challenged directly. It is released quietly. The hand opens. The position passes. The failure is consistent in form. Pause, deferment, yield. It is misread as patience. It is misread as flexibility. It is misread as cooperation. These interpretations do not alter the result. The result remains stable. Authority exits the interaction at the same point each time. The failure does not escalate loudly. It accumulates silently. Each instance confirms the previous one. The pattern tightens. Yielded authority persists even when it is seen. The first indicator appears as internal delay. A response forms, then suspends. The interval is noticeable. The moment passes. A second indicator is silent, second guessing. The initial position weakens before expression. Internal certainty does not reach the surface. A third indicator is mental retreat. Attention shifts inward at the point of engagement. Presence narrows, output reduces. A fourth indicator is reliance on external cues. The individual waits for signals that are not required. Confirmation is sought without request. A fifth indicator is internal softening. Language loses firmness before delivery. Statements downgrade into partial expressions. A sixth indicator is hesitation under gaze. Awareness of being observed increases. Internal pressure rises. Expression slows. A seventh indicator is deferred closure. Decisions remain internally unresolved at the moment they are needed. Completion is postponed. An eighth indicator is repeated internal review after silence. The mind replays the withheld response. The delay is registered again. A ninth indicator is reduced internal trust. Each pause reinforces doubt about the next response. Confidence erodes incrementally. A 10th indicator is internal tension without release. Energy accumulates but is not discharged through action. The state persists. An 11th indicator is predictability. The same internal sequence appears across different interactions. The order does not change. A 12th indicator is awareness without interruption. The pattern is noticed internally. The noticing does not alter its occurrence. A 13th indicator is internal concession. Authority is relinquished before it is challenged. The decision is surrendered silently. These indicators repeat under low pressure and high pressure. They appear in prepared moments and spontaneous moments. They remain consistent across time. The internal record shows continuity. The evidence does not vary. The pattern is stable. The outward effect is reduced influence. Interactions reorganize in real time. Direction shifts away from the individual. Others begin to speak first. Others close decisions. Turn-taking changes. The individual is addressed later. Contributions are received after momentum has moved on. Timing places them behind the exchange. Authority signals weaken. Statements receive less uptake. Clarifications are requested from others. Confirmation is sought elsewhere. Leadership roles redistribute without announcement. Coordination bypasses the individual. Decisions are routed around them. In group settings, alignment follows the most immediate signal. The delayed response loses priority. The group adjusts to faster sources of direction. Responsibility narrows. The individual is assigned execution rather than direction. Tasks are given after plans are formed. Negotiations shift balance. Proposals introduced later carry less weight. Counterpositions set the frame before entry occurs. Meetings conclude without reference. Outcomes are finalized in adjacent conversations. Presence becomes optional. Over time, expectations recalibrate. The individual is not waited for. Silence is interpreted as absence. Space closes quickly. Feedback changes tone. Language simplifies. Nuance is removed. Engagement becomes transactional. Authority figures intervene more frequently. Oversight increases. Autonomy contracts. Peers adapt behavior. They interrupt more readily. They redirect discussions. They finalize points unilaterally. The pattern holds across roles. Formal positions do not interrupt it. Informal settings do not soften it. The same outcome appears regardless of competence. Capability remains untested. Opportunity passes before display. Influence does not collapse suddenly. It thins incrementally. Each interaction reduces the next opening. The environment stabilizes around this adjustment. The individual occupies less decision space. The system compensates elsewhere. The external record shows consistency. Influence diminishes where hesitation appears. The diagnosis remains unchanged. Hesitation operates as yielded authority. It manifests at the moment of exposure. It repeats at the same threshold. It persists without variation. The pause functions as a transfer. Deferment signals release. Silence reallocates control. Authority exits during the interval. This pattern is not conditional. It does not depend on context. It does not require opposition. It activates under attention alone. Internal indicators align with external outcomes. The sequence is consistent. The order holds. The result stabilizes. Influence thins where hesitation appears. Direction shifts without resistance. Momentum is reassigned without announcement. Interpretation does not interrupt the pattern. Intent does not offset it. Readiness does not neutralize it. Awareness does not dissolve it. Each repetition reinforces the next. The transfer becomes predictable. The system adapts accordingly. Authority is not removed by force. It is not challenged overtly. It is released quietly and repeatedly. The point of failure remains fixed. The same moment produces the same outcome. The sequence does not drift. Where hesitation is present, authority does not remain. Where authority does not remain, influence follows. The pattern sustains itself through repetition. The record confirms continuity. The diagnosis holds under pressure.